It's Levack and Goz on 104.5 The Team.
Very cool moment right here at the arena. As we got a true talent who can actually tell us what he sees in the Siena Saints. Anosike joining us right now. And first of all, you're playing over in Spain right now.
I am.
Now, I mean, your fingers are like 16 feet long. So, I feel like you could just finger roll into the basket from here if you had to. But how's everything going over there?
It's been great. I mean, this is my 5th year pro. I've been in Italy, Greece, France, and now I'm in Spain. This year has been actually a little similar to the Siena year. Had our definitely ups and downs, struggling quite a bit right now, but we're optimistic. We're looking forward to the next half of the season. We have some really good players, and I think we'll come around.
So you were part of as a freshman, you guys won the MAC. So as a freshman, you had instant success. Now you look at these kids out here who, just for me, obviously, I look like I swallowed a basketball. You ball. I see talent. It's just not quite gelling. Is that what do you see when you look at them?
I follow the team a lot. And Jimmy and I, we stay in contact, and I'm a big fan of his. And he's extremely self-deprecating when he talks about himself and what he's accomplished over his career. But he's a great coach, and his kids play hard for him. And unfortunately, the chemistry just isn't there right now. And when you combine that with losing arguably your most talented player, Nico Clarith, and losing who I think warranted consideration for MAC Rookie of the Year in Roman Penn, you're going to struggle quite a bit. So I think the key now is to forget what happened early in the year, come together this last month. The MAC tournament's here in this building, and try to do the best you can. And
one of those things that may help Siena in the future is recruiting and maybe continuing to bring in talent. Take us through your recruiting process. I know you were recruited by Coach McCaffrey, but how did you end up becoming a Siena Saint?
You know what? It's actually, a pretty interesting story. I was a, 6'8", extremely skinny kid out of Staten Island, New York, and, started to garner interest during my junior year from some Big East schools. I didn't grow to be as tall as I thought I would be, so the Big East schools kind of backed off, and Coach Mack was right there. He was probably my 5th or 6th offer. He stayed on top of me since then. He didn't get scared away when other schools came in, and that's something I really liked about him. His loyalty and his commitment was really tremendous, and it didn't take long before I came up here for a visit, and I fell in love.
Anosike here with us, and I'm looking at your pictures right now. This is the friendliest kid in the world. What the heck happened over here? You look mad.
Probably after a loss or something like that.
And then I see your Spain photo, and that friendly kid's not in Spain. Does he stay here?
You know what? When you're going over there, it's a whole different animal, because now you're playing against grown men who have families, who have children, who are trying to feed their family. So it's a whole different ball game. Unfortunately, a lot of the fun gets taken out of it. It's more of a business aspect, but I still try to enjoy it as much as I can.
So, Odie, we're talking this team. When you see, like you said, they lose possible Rookie of the Year, they lose Nico, they lose this. How long does it take to recover from something like that? I mean, the plus at this level, right, is that you guys play together longer. How long does it take to recover from all that?
Well, you know what? With this team, there's a lot of youth. Jimmy's a big fan of playing young guys, and he feels like that'll pay dividends down the road. Hopefully this year, but for sure in later years. So I think with this team, he's got to stay on them. The confidence can't waver. They're young. They got to stay confident, and they just got to play as hard as they can. And then my message to the Siena faithful would be to just stay with them. Continue to be exactly who you are. Continue to be first-class people. Continue to love and support this team unconditionally, and I'm sure that they'll turn it around in the near future.
I think it's a good message for the Siena fans, because your team's almost spoiled Siena fans, because they expected it was going to be easy all the time getting to the NCAA tournament. I think you have an understanding that it is a grind from the start of the season all the way to the end to qualify for one of those rare less than 70 spots in the Big Dance.
Absolutely. I mean, with Coach McCaffrey here, winning back-to-back is almost unprecedented in this league. And you're right. Maybe fans got a little bit spoiled, and their patience is maybe running thin a little bit. But the kids are not going to benefit from the fans bailing on them. If you want to see this program turn around, I think the fans have to stay behind the kids. The kids have to continue to play hard, and I think we'll get back to the glory days very soon.
You said you like Patos. Obviously there are some fans who are like, "Oh, Fran," how do you compare the two? I mean, obviously you played for one, not the other, but you got to know Jimmy.
Absolutely. I mean, Jimmy, I got to play against him while he was at Loyola, and then I was here at Siena. He's a fiery guy. He loves the kids, and they play hard for him. His pedigree speaks for itself. Being an assistant at Maryland, playing under Gary Williams, winning a national championship there, he knows basketball. unfortunately, the team is struggling right now. And, it's natural for, some fans to be a little disgruntled. But I love Jimmy. I love what he does. He's working harder than ever, and that's all you can ask from a head coach.
Siena legend Anosike with us right now. It's live from the TU Center, getting ready to take on the Iona Gales.
When I hear about basketball across the pond, whether this is the right answer or not, for some reason LeVar Ball has jumped into my mind. Do you think the Ball brothers can actually compete at that level?
You know what? I can't speak on Lithuania itself. I have played a few teams from there, but not the whole league. And they're actually doing better than what I thought. I think people forget that they're young kids, and a lot of the scrutiny that they face is not because of their own doing. A lot of it comes from their father. So I'm pulling for the kids. I really am. They're young kids that have a great world of potential ahead of them. I'm hoping that they do well.
You're such a nice guy. Like aren't they annoying? Like, come on, admit they're annoying. Like, how does that path work? Like, if I took you out of high school, would you be half the guy you are now? If I never had you in college, would you be half the guy you are right now?
You know what? Looking back on it, I'm very, very thankful for the things I went through as a high school kid and as a college kid. At the same time, if I was exposed to the European style of basketball at 16, at 19, like these kids are, I might be light years ahead. So it depends on how you look at it. LeVar has taken the choice to bring his kids over there. This is somewhat unprecedented. Haven't seen this happen very often. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
You've had success at Siena. You've played now professional basketball for 5 years. Are you ready to start saying at least you're a better basketball player than your sister?
You know what?
You looked around to make sure she wasn't here.
Yeah, for those that may not know, she won 2 national championships at Tennessee and also played in the WNBA. So
she's tremendous in her own right, and I can never take anything away from her. At the same time, when you put me and her on the court at the same time, I'm going to win that matchup.
Thanksgiving's not going to go well for her.
No, not at all. Not at all. She's a phenomenal athlete who's accomplished, much more than I have. But when we step on the court, she has no chance, and we both know it.
Where's that mean streak? That's what I'm talking about.
Let me bring back the picture of the mean guy. That's him right there. Odie with us right now. And Odie, like, you said that some of the fun is taken out of hoops overseas because it's a business.
Right.
What has that done for your game specifically? Has that made you a better player, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? At my time at Siena, especially towards the end of my career, I was definitely the focal point, of the team. Everything ran through me. But now as a professional, a lot of it is predicated upon how you are on the court, but also how you conduct yourself off the court. Teams want good guys, good people, good locker room guys. I think it's very important to show teams that you're not only talented on the floor, but you could also, be a great role model in the community.
What's next for you?
You know what? This is my 5th year. I actually got my master's a few years ago in sport management from Texas A&M, and that's something I'm very, proud of. I keep in contact with all my old coaches. Coach McCaffrey's a great guy, and I saw him this summer out in Iowa. I consider myself a Fran McCaffrey disciple. I think for me in the next few years, I want to get into coaching. I think that's what I want to do. A lot of the coaches that I've been around or that have recruited me in the past, are helping me and giving me advice towards that next step.
You've traveled enough. Don't go to Iowa. Come on.
It's actually a lot better than you thought.
Really?
Yeah, it's tremendous. The campus is great. They have a phenomenal fan base. With football, you can do almost anything. The football is there, so they have the financial backing to do just about everything. It's actually a lot better than what you would think.
I feel like we're interviewing Carmen Sandiego, like Staten Island, Iowa,
Albany,
Germany, France, Albany, man.
I'm all over.
I love that he dug up your sister on you. That's wrong, man. Like, I wouldn't even have done that to you. I usually mean.
She's a good player. Can't take anything away from her, but she can't beat me in a game of one-on-one.
I like it. OD with us, man. Before we let you go, the Sammy Sosa picture. What would have to happen for you to take that picture? Like, he says his wife likes it, so he does it.
You know what? He's changed a lot. He's really changed a lot over the years. I remember him a little bit differently.
Pink now.
Yeah, definitely changed a lot. He seems to like it. He seems to like it, and sometimes you just got to go with what you like.
You can see why he wants to be a coach. What a great answer. Looks different. He's changed a lot. That's how you answer like a coach. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Learn from the best.
Now answer like you're this, OD.
Okay. Sammy, you look absolutely horrible.
Yes!
But, again, another guy who's accomplished a lot during his career, so I can't really say much about it.
He can't stay mean.
I can't do it.
Oh, man. OD, man, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. And, like, when you get that coaching job and he starts harassing you to come back on the show, don't duck us.
Absolutely. I'll be here. No problem.
All right, man. We appreciate you so much. We got headlines coming up next.